The galaxy was vast. Countless stars burned in the darkness and hundreds of alien empires ruled the skies. Civilizations rose and fell, but one world was always spoken of in whispers. That world was Earth. No alien dared to go near it. For millennia, it was hidden behind a strange energy field, a shimmering barrier of blue light that no one could cross. Even the strongest weapons of the galaxy failed to break it. The oldest record said Earth had once been the home of humans, but to the galaxy humans were gone, lost in time, maybe even extinct. Still, there were always rumors. Some claimed humans had destroyed themselves in wars. Others believed they had been wiped out by alien empires. And a few, the most fearful, said humans had never died. They had only been waiting. For ages, no one had proof. But one night, in the far edge of the Milky Way, a small alien ship drifted close to Earth. Its pilot was an explorer, a curious mind who wanted to see with his own eyes what the galaxy feared. His name did not matter. What mattered was his mistake. From the moment he approached the barrier, his scanners lit up with strange readings. The energy wall was not silent. It was alive, pulsing like the heartbeat of a sleeping beast. The explorer hesitated. Every story he had heard as a child came rushing back. His people had warned him, do not go near Earth, do not disturb the seal, but curiosity was stronger than fear. He pushed his ship closer. The barrier shimmered. For thousands of years it had stood still, cold and unmoving, but now it responded. The explorer's eyes widened as lightning-like arcs of energy danced across his view screen. His ship trembled. Alarms rang. Something was waking. Inside Earth, deep under the ground, long dormant machines stirred. For the first time in millennia, lights blinked to life. Vast bunkers opened. In the shadows of mountains, hidden cities hummed with power. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was still there, waiting in silence, waiting for this very moment. The alien explorer panicked. He tried to turn his ship away, but it was too late. A beam of energy shot out from Earth's surface, passing through the barrier as if it were nothing. His ship froze. Systems died. He was trapped. In the silence of space, he heard a signal. A voice. It was old, deep, and human. You should not be here. The explorer shivered. The voice was not threatening, not loud. But it carried something heavier than any weapon. Certainty. This was not a warning. It was a statement of fact. The barrier around Earth pulsed again. This time the light spread farther, brighter, stronger. Across the galaxy, powerful sensors picked up the signal. Every empire, every government, every warlord looked at their screens in horror. Earth, the sealed world, the forbidden planet, had just announced its presence. Alien leaders gathered in panic. Some shouted that the humans must be destroyed before they returned. Others argued that it was already too late. They remembered the old histories. The wars fought long ago when humans had stood against entire empires and won. The record said humans had no special strength, no claws, no scales, no natural weapons. But they had something more dangerous: willpower. The explorer, still trapped in his frozen ship, watched as shadows moved on Earth below. He saw massive ships rise from hidden bases, their shapes sleek and terrifying. These were not the fragile craft of the past. These were weapons of a new age, built in silence, perfected in secret. Impossible, he whispered. They were supposed to be gone. His words faded. On his screen, a symbol appeared. It was not alien. It was not unknown. It was the mark of humanity. Simple, bold, unforgettable. Across the stars, millions of aliens trembled. The forbidden planet had not been dead. It had been sleeping, and now after millennia it was waking up. The explorer sent one last desperate message to his people. His voice shook as he spoke. They are still here. The humans. They never left. Static filled the transmission. His ship went dark. The barrier around Earth closed once again, calm and silent, as if nothing had happened. But the galaxy knew better, because now Earth was not just a rumor. Earth was real. Earth was alive. And the secret it held was about to change everything. The alien explorer's last message spread across the galaxy like fire in dry grass. They are still here. The humans. They never left. At first, many dismissed it as a trick, the dying words of a foolish scout. But the signal was real. It carried data, images, fragments of sound, enough to confirm the unthinkable. Earth was not silent. For thousands of years, the galaxy had believed Earth to be dead, its people wiped out or forgotten. Now the seal had stirred, and inside something vast was moving. The Council of Stars, in the heart of the galaxy, the Council of Stars gathered. It was the oldest assembly of alien powers, a place where emperors, warlords, and scholars debated the fate of entire worlds. The chamber buzzed with fear. The seal was broken, hissed a reptilian leader, his scales glistening in the dim light. If the humans are alive, they are a threat. We must act now. A tall insectoid shook its head. No weapon ever pierced that barrier. Not even our strongest fleets. How did the humans break their own prison? The chamber fell silent. None wanted to admit the truth. Humanity had always been different. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, yet somehow they had risen. Somehow they had always found a way. Long ago, humans had fought the galaxy's greatest armies, and though they had been outnumbered, they had never surrendered. Some empires still bore scars from those wars. The council argued for hours, but no decision came. Fear held them heavy and cold. The explorer's gift, meanwhile, fragments from the explorer's ship revealed something else. His scanners had captured structures on Earth. Massive towers, glowing grids, networks of power humming beneath the ground. These were not ruins. These were living cities hidden from sight, waiting for the right moment to awaken. The images spread in secret channels. Pirates, traders, and mercenaries whispered of it in dark taverns. Some laughed, saying the humans were ghosts. Others grew quiet, remembering old tales their grandparents had told them. Tales of human soldiers who fought until the last breath, who turned defeat into victory, who made empires tremble. And in the shadows, smaller alien races, those crushed under the weight of larger powers, began to hope. If the humans returned, maybe the balance would change. Maybe the weak would finally have protectors, or maybe new conquerors. Inside the seal, far below the shimmering barrier, Earth was alive. Beneath ancient mountains, command centers glowed. Generations of humans had lived in secret, training, building, waiting. They had not forgotten the wars that once nearly destroyed them. They had not forgiven the galaxy for sealing them away. Children were raised with stories of survival. Scientists worked in hidden labs, creating ships that defied alien design. Soldiers drilled in endless halls, mastering tactics older and sharper than any code. They had watched the galaxy from behind the veil. They had learned its languages, mapped its stars, and studied its weaknesses. The seal was not a cage. It was a shield that allowed humanity to prepare. And now the shield was breaking. A warning in the void. A week after the explorer vanished, a strange broadcast echoed across the galaxy. It was not a voice. It was a pulse, a rhythm, a signal like a drumbeat. Every receiver translated it into the same message. We are awake. The council panicked. Armadas were mobilized. Scouts were sent to the edge of the barrier. Some returned with trembling reports of strange lights in the skies, human ships moving like shadows. Others did not return at all. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was united in fear. A test of fire on a lonely trade route near the edge of the Milky Way, 3 alien warships spotted a single craft emerging from hyperspace. At first they thought it was a smuggler, easy prey, but as the ship drew closer they froze. It was unlike anything they had seen before. Sleek, sharp, glowing with silent power. The warships hailed it. No answer came. They fired warning shots. Still the strange ship did not respond. Finally, in panic, they launched a full barrage, the stars lit up with fire. For a moment, the alien commanders believed they had destroyed it. But when the smoke cleared, the human ship was still there, untouched. Then, with impossible speed, it moved. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3. In less than a minute, the 3 alien warships were gone, reduced to drifting wrecks. The human ship vanished without a word. News spread faster than light. The humans were not only alive, they were stronger than ever. Whispers of fear in the following weeks. Entire systems whispered of Earth's return. Merchant guilds changed their trade routes. Soldiers deserted, unwilling to fight a species that had already beaten death itself. Yet, in the darkest corners, others began to dream. Dream of rebellion, of freedom, of a galaxy no longer ruled by the same empires. For some, humanity was a terror. For others, humanity was hope. And through it all, Earth remained silent, watching, waiting. The galaxy now understood the explorers' final words. They never left. And worse, perhaps they had never been trapped at all. The galaxy had not known fear like this for thousands of years. The strange message from Earth, we are awake, echoed in every system, every colony, every outpost. Armies stood ready, fleets gathered near the borders, but none dared to strike first. No one wanted to be the one to face the humans. Old wounds in the archives of many empires, the truth was buried. Long ago, humans had fought wars that shook the stars. They were not the strongest species nor the most advanced. But they were relentless. They turned weakness into strength, loss into strategy, and chaos into victory. The records told of battles where humans, outnumbered 10-1, had still forced mighty empires to retreat. The galaxy never forgot those wars. That was why Earth had been sealed. It was not protection for humans. It was protection for the galaxy. Now the seal was breaking. The councils fear the Council of Stars met again, but this time their voices shook. They cannot be allowed to leave their world, growled a reptilian warlord. His claws scraped the metal table. If they spread again, we will all fall. A bird-like scholar spread her wings nervously. The humans are different now. Our scouts saw their ships. Their technology surpasses anything we know. The barrier did not weaken them, it gave them time. Silence filled the chamber. Every leader knew what she meant. While the galaxy had fought endless wars among itself, humans had been waiting. Building, learning, finally the eldest of them all, a crystalline being with a voice like breaking glass, spoke. We sealed them away because they could not be killed. We sealed them away because they could not be broken. If they are awake, then the galaxy stands on the edge of war once more. The human signal, on a quiet night, across the entire Milky Way, another broadcast came. It was not data. It was not code. It was a voice, deep, clear, and unmistakably human. We remember. We are coming. Every listener felt the words cut through them like a blade. This was not a declaration of peace. This was not a warning. It was a promise. Across the galaxy, panic erupted. Civilian ships fled from the outer rims. Armies rushed to fortify their borders. And still, in the darkness of space, strange shapes were seen. Ships that appeared, destroyed, and vanished again. The silent fleet in the hidden oceans of Neptune. Vast hangars opened. Colossal human starships, black as the void, rose from the waters. Their engines burned with silent fire. Their weapons glowed with deadly precision. In the deserts of Mars, old bunkers opened. Soldiers marched out armored in steel and light. They carried weapons unseen by alien eyes, rifles that fired not bullets, but beams of controlled energy sharp enough to cut through starship hulls. On Earth itself, deep under the ruins of old cities, command centers pulsed with life. Generals watched alien movements across holographic maps. Every detail of the galaxy had been studied. Every empire, every fleet, every weakness recorded and ready. The humans had not been hiding. They had been preparing the first strike. Near the border of the Jari Empire, an alien listening post caught sight of movement. A human fleet emerged. Dozens of ships gliding silently through the void. Unlike alien armadas, they did not waste space on decoration or pride. Their ships were simple, sharp, and deadly. The Jari panicked and sent a warning. Do not enter our space. No answer came. They fired. The sky erupted in fire. For a moment, the aliens thought they had won. But when the smoke cleared, the human ships were untouched. Then came the counterstrike. Fast, precise, cold. In less than 10 minutes, the entire Jari fleet was gone. The human ships did not stay to claim victory. They vanished into the stars, leaving only wreckage and silence. Whispers of rebellion as fear spread. Something else began to grow. Smaller alien races, long oppressed by mighty empires, whispered to each other. The humans have returned. For them, humanity was not only terror, it was hope. If humans could stand against the great powers of the galaxy, then maybe the galaxy could change. Maybe the old empires would finally fall. Secret messages traveled through the underworld. Some swore loyalty to humanity before ever seeing them. Others begged for protection. The galaxy was dividing. Fear on one side, faith on the other. The awakening from hidden bases across the solar system. The humans launched their final broadcast. This time, it reached every corner of the galaxy, impossible to block, impossible to silence. We are awake. We are prepared. We are coming. This galaxy belongs to us all, or it belongs to no one. The words shook empires. Armadas gathered. Civilizations braced for war. And in the dark halls of Earth, a single phrase was spoken by every human commander. The time of waiting is over. The awakening had begun, and the galaxy could only tremble. The galaxy held its breath. For weeks, strange signals and shadowy fleets had stirred fear. Battles were fought, ships destroyed, but still Earth remained silent. Aliens waited for answers. What did the humans want? Why had they awakened now after so many millennia? The silence broke. The broadcast across the galaxy, every screen, every comms channel, every receiver lit up at once. Civilian tablets, military satellites, even personal implants, all hijacked by one voice. It was human. The tone was steady, cold, unshaken. We remember. We are coming. No threats, no details. Just a promise. A galaxy shook under those 5 words. Leaders screamed in fear. Armies scrambled for orders. Civilians locked their doors as if wooden walls could protect them from the storm of stars. But it was not over. The message behind the words hours later, the broadcast returned, this time with more. Images filled the galaxy. Ancient wars, human fleets burning yet fighting on, empires collapsing under human defiance. Then came images of now. Sleek black ships rising from oceans, soldiers standing in gleaming armor, cities glowing with hidden power. Finally, the voice returned. We were sealed away, but not forgotten. We watched. We learned. We prepared. You feared us once. You will fear us again. But this time, a pause. The galaxy leaned in. We will not be caged. The feed ended. Darkness returned to the screens. But in that darkness, terror spread. Panic in the Council of Stars, chaos erupted. The reptilian warlord roared, "They threaten us all! We must strike first before their armies spread." The insectoid diplomat hissed in reply, "You fool! You saw their ships destroy fleets without effort. If we attack, we lose. We must find another way." The crystalline elder spoke softly, each word like breaking glass. "There is no other way. Humans do not bargain. They endure. They outlast. If they are awake, then we must pray they show mercy." But mercy was not a word the galaxy trusted to human lips. The streets of the galaxy on alien worlds, fear turned into madness. Shops closed. Trade routes froze. Families fled deeper into empire cores. Old myths resurfaced. Stories of human soldiers who had once fought with nothing but metal blades against armored beasts, and still won. Yet not all were afraid. In the slums of the weaker races, whispers turned into chants. The humans have returned. To them, it was not a threat, it was hope. Humanity had always been the great equalizer. When humans fought, they fought not as rulers but as survivors. Many believed that if humans rose again, perhaps the chains of the old empires would finally break. The galaxy was dividing. Fear and faith spread side by side. First contact at the edge of the Orion Belt. An alien cruiser picked up a human signal. Instead of weapons fire, it was a transmission. On their screen appeared a human commander. His face aged, but his eyes sharp like steel. He spoke slowly, in clear words that needed no translation. "This is not a request. This is not a negotiation. This is a reminder. Humanity is here. Humanity endures. The age of silence is over." The alien captain trembled. What do you want from us?" The human leaned closer. His voice turned colder. "We want you to remember. We want you to tell them. We want the galaxy to know we are not weak. We never were." The transmission ended. Moments later, the cruiser found itself drifting powerless, every system disabled. The humans had not destroyed them. They had left them alive with a message to spread. Division grows in days, reports spread everywhere. Human fleets were seen near ancient battlefields, their ships hovering like ghosts above forgotten graves. In each case, they left behind messages carved into stone or beamed into the skies. We remember. We endure. We return. The galaxy argued endlessly. Were humans conquerors preparing for war? Or survivors demanding respect? Some leaders demanded peace talks, but others swore they would never bow to mankind again. The fear was not only of human strength, but of human patience. They had waited thousands of years in silence. What else were they capable of waiting for? Humanity's final word one last broadcast came, this time brighter, sharper, reaching even the most distant colonies. A human silhouette stood against a glowing earth. Behind him, fleet stretched into the sky. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "This galaxy belongs to all, or it belongs to no one. We do not seek slaves. We do not seek surrender. We seek balance. We seek memory. We seek respect, he raised his hand. The fleets behind him powered their engines, but if you deny us, then you will learn what it means to fear again. The screen went black. The aftermath. Every empire shook. Some prepared their fleets. Others sent secret messengers, desperate to ally with humanity. And in the shadows, millions of common people whispered prayers, not to their own rulers, but to the humans who had defied time itself. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy understood. Humanity was not asking. Humanity was declaring. The voice of Earth had spoken. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The galaxy could not avoid it any longer. Words had been spoken, signals had been sent, but silence and fear were never enough to contain humanity. The first true battle was coming. The challenge on the borders of three great empires. Fleets gathered, hundreds of ships lined in formation like walls of steel. These were not scouts or patrols. These were war armadas, prepared to crush the humans before their return spread any further. Each empire had sworn the same oath. We will strike together. We will remind them why they were sealed. But none truly believed in victory, not after the reports, not after the whispers of entire fleets destroyed in minutes. Still, they had no choice. Fear drove them forward. The human arrival. For days they waited, scanning the stars. Then, in the silence of space, a ripple appeared. One by one, ships emerged. Black, sharp, and deadly, the human fleet entered without a sound. At first glance, they looked outnumbered. 30 human ships against 300 alien warships. The galaxy believed numbers would win. The galaxy believed firepower would be enough. They were wrong. The human fleet moved with unnatural precision. No wasted motion, no hesitation. It was as if every ship shared one mind. The first strike. The alien commanders gave the order. Missiles, beams, and plasma fire filled the void. The stars themselves seemed to explode under the weight of so many weapons. When the smoke cleared, the humans were still there. Their shields glowed faintly, but their fleet remained untouched. Then came the counterattack. Human ships did not fire blindly. They moved like hunters, striking weak points with perfect accuracy. One alien cruiser exploded instantly, split in half by a single beam. Another lost all power, drifting helplessly into the dark. Panic spread through the alien ranks. This was not war, it was slaughter. The unpredictable enemy aliens had always fought with patterns. Their battles followed rules, their tactics designed by computers. But the humans, they broke every rule. When an alien fleet expected retreat, the humans charged. When they expected attack, the humans vanished. When they thought the humans trapped, they were already behind them. It was chaos, but it was not blind chaos. It was strategy, sharper than any machine. The reptilian commander screamed across the comms, "They fight like ghosts," the turning point. Half the alien fleet was already destroyed when the humans changed formation. Their ships split apart, scattering like shards of glass. The aliens believed they were retreating. Instead, the humans circled behind them. In a matter of minutes, the battlefield turned upside down. Alien armadas, once proud and unbreakable, were reduced to burning wrecks. One desperate alien warlord shouted, "We cannot win! Pull back now!" But it was too late. A message of fire. At the center of the battlefield, the largest alien dreadnought remained. Its guns turned, firing endlessly into the void. But no matter how many shots it launched, it could not find its target. Suddenly, the dreadnought's screens lit up. A human face appeared, cold, calm, unshaken. "This is your reminder," the human said. "We endure." A single blast followed. The dreadnought, the pride of its empire, shattered into dust. The message was clear. This was not just victory. This was a declaration. Silence after fire. When the battle ended, only wreckage remained. 300 ships had come. Barely a dozen limped away. The human fleet did not celebrate. They did not claim spoils. They simply vanished into hyperspace, leaving only burning ruins behind. For the survivors, it was worse than death. They had seen the truth. Humans were not fighting for territory. They were fighting to prove something greater. Reactions. Across the galaxy, the news spread faster than light. The empires were shaken. Leaders screamed at their generals demanding explanations. Armies scrambled to rebuild. But fear was no longer only for rulers. Ordinary people whispered louder now. Some said the humans were monsters, unstoppable and cruel. Others said the humans were saviors, strong enough to topple empires. And in the shadows, rebellions grew bolder. If humanity could defeat 3 empires at once, maybe anyone could rise against their oppressors. The human silence. After the clash, the humans sent no words, no signals. They left only silence. But to the galaxy, that silence was louder than thunder. Everyone asked the same question. Where would they strike next? No one had the answer. For the galaxy, the battle was a disaster. For humanity, it was only the beginning. The galaxy could not understand. How had the humans survived? How had they grown so powerful while trapped? For thousands of years, scholars, spies, and generals had debated the mystery of Earth's barrier. They had believed it was a prison, something the galaxy itself had built to contain humanity. But the truth was darker and far more dangerous. Whispers of the past in the Council of Stars, leaders demanded answers. Records were searched, archives unlocked, ancient files dragged from forgotten vaults. What they found was chilling. The barrier around Earth had not been created by alien hands. It had not been forged by the Council, nor by any empire. It had been built by the humans themselves. A trap in the dark. The revelation spread in secret first, whispered only among the highest leaders. But nothing could stop the truth for long. Long ago, when the wars against humanity had reached their bloodiest point, the galaxy had expected humanity to surrender. Outnumbered, cornered, exhausted, they should have fallen. But instead of surrender, humanity had done something unthinkable. They had sealed themselves away. They had built the barrier not as a cage but as a shield to hide behind, a shield to wait, a shield to let the galaxy forget. While alien empires wasted centuries fighting each other, humans slept, rebuilt, and prepared. The galaxy had not trapped humanity. Humanity had trapped the galaxy, inside its own fear. The weight of waiting, inside Earth, generations had been born and raised in silence. Parents told their children stories of old wars, of betrayal, of the galaxy that once sought to wipe them out. But the stories were not told as history. They were told as lessons. Wait, the elders said. Watch, the generals whispered. Endure, the commanders ordered. Every moment of waiting was part of a plan. Every second of silence was preparation. Humanity had not wasted the millennia. They had used it. The cracks of truth. Across alien civilizations, the revelation hit like a storm. Some leaders panicked, realizing they had misunderstood everything. They had thought the humans weak, trapped, forgotten. Instead, humans had chosen patience as their weapon. Others refused to believe. Lies, they shouted. Tricks. But deep down, they knew the truth. No other explanation made sense. And the common people? For them, the truth was terrifying and inspiring. If a species could hide for millennia, if they could plan for 1,000 generations, then perhaps they were unstoppable. Perhaps they were invincible. A voice. From the shadows, one night, the galaxy's networks lit up again. A human voice spoke, calm and sharp. You thought you sealed us. You thought you buried us. You were wrong. Images followed. Blueprints of the barrier itself, old footage of humans activating it, proof that the seal had been their own creation. We chose silence. We chose waiting. Because waiting is a weapon. And now we have waited long enough. The transmission ended with a single phrase burned into every screen. We trapped ourselves. To trap you. Panic among the mighty in the empire capitals. Riots broke out. Citizens, demanded answers from rulers who had promised safety for centuries. Armies struggled to contain panic. The reptilian warlord who had once shouted for human destruction now trembled in silence. He whispered to his advisors, "They are not rising. They are returning." This was their plan all along. The insectoid diplomat hissed, wings shaking. "If they waited this long, then every move they make now is part of something greater. We do not fight enemies, we fight destiny itself." Hope among the weak, but in the poorer worlds, among the oppressed, the truth spread like fire. Small alien races, broken under the weight of empires, began to cheer. "They waited for us," some whispered. "They endured for all," others said. To them, humanity was not a terror, it was salvation. A species that had endured its own prison willingly could never be truly defeated. If they fought against the empires, maybe the galaxy would finally change. The final preparation on Earth, in vast command halls. The truth was not hidden. Humans walked among maps of stars, eyes steady and cold. "This is what they now know," one commander said. "They finally understand," another replied. And then the supreme commander of Earth, his face hidden in shadow, spoke, "Let them fear the seal. Let them fear the waiting. Because now they will learn that patience was our greatest weapon. We did not lose time. We gained it." The fleet behind him roared to life, engines burning brighter than suns. The galaxy trembles, for the galaxy. The truth was too heavy to bear. They had not caged a beast. The beast had caged itself, only to return stronger than before. And now, as human ships rose into the dark once more, every empire knew the truth. The seal had never been their victory. The seal had always been humanity's trap. The galaxy no longer doubted. The truth of the seal had spread like fire. Humanity had not been imprisoned. They had imprisoned themselves, waiting for the right moment to return. And now that moment had come. Across the stars, fleets burned, armies mobilized, but no one felt ready. The empires had spent millennia fighting each other, while humanity had spent millennia preparing, and preparation had turned into destiny. The gathering storm from hidden hangars under oceans, deserts and mountains, the full might of Earth's fleet rose. Thousands of ships, sleek, black, and deadly, spread across the solar system like a new constellation. Each ship carried weapons never seen before. Silent cannons that cut through shields like paper, engines that bent gravity itself, armors that turned aside the heaviest plasma fire. And at the heart of it all was Earth itself, glowing beneath the seal like a jewel of war. For the galaxy, the sight was unbearable. For humanity, it was only the beginning. The final broadcast, the humans did not attack first. Instead, their voice filled the skies once again. Every colony, every ship, every world heard the words, "We were never gone. We were never defeated. We chose silence. We chose patience. And now we choose to return." The voice paused. Then it continued sharper. "This galaxy belongs to all, or it belongs to no one. But you will never cage us again." With those words, the human fleets began their advance. The great clash, 3 empires tried to resist. Their fleets formed walls of steel at the borders. Thousands of warships locked together in massive armadas. They fired first, desperate, unleashing storms of plasma and missiles. The void itself seemed to burn. But when the fire cleared, the human fleets were still there. Not untouched, but unbroken. They struck back, swift, precise, cold. Alien dreadnoughts crumbled under beams of white fire. Battleships were sliced apart like glass. Whole fleets broke within minutes. It was not a battle. It was revelation. The galaxy saw that numbers meant nothing against patience sharpened into power. The fall of silence, alien leaders shouted commands. Some begged for mercy. Others swore they would never kneel. But the outcome was always the same. Wherever humans struck, empires bent or burned. Yet humanity did not conquer blindly. They did not slaughter without reason. Worlds that surrendered were spared. Civilizations that bowed were left standing. Humanity was not here to destroy. They were here to remind the galaxy that they had endured. To remind the galaxy that patience had been their sharpest blade. The turning of the weak on countless smaller worlds. Oppressed races rose in rebellion. With humanity's return, courage spread like wildfire. Chains were broken. Empires collapsed from within. And in every rebellion, one cry was shouted into the skies. "The humans have returned. The galaxy was no longer united in fear. It was divided, between those who resisted and those who hoped. Humanity had become more than a species. They had become a symbol, the revelation in the ruins of the Council of Stars. Surviving leaders gathered one last time. They expected demands, conquest, tribute, or surrender. Instead, a human appeared before them, projected in cold light. The human's face was calm, eyes sharp, voice steady. We did not wait to rule. We did not wait to enslave. We waited because you feared us, and that fear gave us strength. You taught us that patience was power. Now we show you what patience creates. The leaders trembled. One dared to ask, "Then what do you want?" The human leaned forward. Respect. The new age. And so the wars ended not with the fall of every empire, but with the revelation that humanity could not be erased, could not be caged, could not be forgotten. The galaxy learned that the seal had never been their victory. It had always been humanity's plan. Some bowed willingly, others resisted until the end. But all came to understand one truth. The age of silence was over. The age of waiting was over. The age of humanity had begun. The final line on Earth, beneath the shining barrier that now slowly faded away, humans stood together, watching the stars. They did not speak of conquest. They did not speak of vengeance. They spoke only of destiny, and as their fleet spread across the galaxy, a single phrase echoed in every language, on every world, in every fearful heart. The age of humanity has just begun.